World War I, known as the Great War, was one of the most brutal conflicts in history. But beyond the trenches and the battles, there are stories so bizarre, terrifying, and unexpected that they sound almost unbelievable. Today, we count down 10 shocking facts about World War I that will blow your mind. Forget high-tech communication. World War I relied on pigeons. These feathered heroes carried crucial messages across enemy lines. One pigeon, named Cher Ami, delivered a life-saving message that saved nearly 200 U.S. soldiers trapped behind enemy lines. Without these birds, many crucial operations would have failed. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sparked the war, but did you know it almost didn't happen? His assassin, Gavrilo Princip, failed his first attempt, but later, by sheer luck, he found the Archduke's car after the driver took a wrong turn. The rest is history. Tanks are now a staple of modern warfare, but in 1916, the British unveiled the first ever tank, the Mark I. It was slow, clunky, and frequently broke down, but it had one major advantage. It could crush barbed wire and roll over trenches, making it a game-changer on the battlefield. The first major tank attack at the Battle of Cambrai in 1917 shocked the Germans and showed the world that the future of war would never be the same. On Christmas Eve 1914, something unbelievable happened. Soldiers from both sides left their trenches, sang carols, and even played football together in no man's land. In some areas, they exchanged gifts, cigarettes, and handshakes. But the war machine couldn't be stopped for long. Generals quickly ordered an end to the truces, and by the next day, the fighting resumed. This brief moment of peace remains one of the most extraordinary events in wartime history. Dogs weren't just companions in World War I, they were essential soldiers. These trained animals carried messages across battlefields, ran medical supplies to wounded soldiers, and even detected enemy forces. Some dogs, like the legendary Sergeant Stubby, could recognize incoming gas attacks and warn troops before it was too late. Their bravery saved thousands of lives, making them unsung heroes of the war. With so many soldiers suffering horrific facial injuries from shrapnel and gunfire, surgeons were forced to innovate. One doctor, Harold Gillies, pioneered the first plastic surgery techniques to reconstruct faces. His work laid the foundation for modern reconstructive surgery, helping soldiers regain their identities after devastating wounds. Before World War I, facial reconstruction was almost unheard of, but by the end of the war, thousands of soldiers had undergone life-changing procedures. Despite the chaos, over 12 million letters were sent every week from the trenches. Soldiers wrote home about their daily struggles, their hopes of survival, and their longing for normal life. Some letters were heartbreaking final messages, sent just days before the writer was killed in action. Others were filled with humor, attempting to keep spirits high despite the horrors of war. The letters of WW. One remain a powerful insight into the minds of those who lived through it. In October 1918, nearly 500 U.S. soldiers from the 77th Division got trapped behind enemy lines in the Argonne Forest. Cut off from reinforcements, low on food, and surrounded by German troops, they faced certain doom. For 6 days, they held their ground while suffering massive casualties. The only reason they survived? A pigeon named Cher Ami carried a desperate message back to headquarters, leading to their rescue. Out of 500 men, only 194 walked away, but they had made history. As if war wasn't deadly enough, the world was hit by the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918, right as the war was ending. The virus spread rapidly through overcrowded trenches and military camps, killing millions. Some historians believe the pandemic was even deadlier than the war itself, with an estimated 50 million deaths worldwide. Soldiers who survived bullets and bombs often fell to this invisible killer instead. The Treaty of Versailles officially ended the war in 1919, but did you know that some nations didn't sign peace treaties until decades later? In fact, Germany and Russia only formally ended hostilities in 1990. That means the paperwork to officially close WW1 took over 70 years. The war may have ended on the battlefield, but on paper, it lasted far longer than anyone imagined. And there you have it, 10 insane facts about World War I. Which fact shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you love history, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.